Beardicus here. Welcome to this episode of CrusaderCast. Today we are checking out the elf starting area in ArcheAge. This footage shows a summary of levels 1 through 10. This starting area is very typical for fantasy elves. It's a nature, magic-based area filled with corrupted tree mobs or invading undead hordes. It's the elf starting area in every MMO ever made. It even has a sort of cliche tree of life near the end of the zone. Like the rest of ArcheAge, though, the animations and art style are still impressive, even though the subject matter may not be super original. All the races in ArcheAge are kind of typical of their fantasy MMO stylings. The Ranger class is pretty fun to play, and requires you to move around more than other MMOs, usually the Ranger class. It usually doesn't go well for your character if you allow the enemy into melee range. You die pretty quickly. As you can see here with the big tree, it's sort of, it's just a nature. You're not going to be blown away by any of this. I mean, the graphics are really impressive, but it's just pretty typical of all elf-based fantasy since Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings, to be honest. And all media, all gaming media, all elves are the same, really. I mean, sound off in the comments below if there's a game where elves are really different. Elves, pointy ears, that sort of elf, if they actually have a different sort of backstory in any games. I don't think there are any. And you can see this early type of enemy, I guess it's some sort of harpy, is even dynamic in the sense that you have to move to avoid the fireballs. So that's better. It makes this range class more interesting than, say, WoW, where you can just kind of keep backing up, and it doesn't even matter if they get close. You just stand there and arrow them in the face from 2 feet away. It doesn't really matter. And here we're about to see the first town in a minute. You'll get a good idea of the art style. See here, it's a little more color. It's getting a little bit bigger. It's yeah, there's really not much to say as far as this. I was kind of underwhelmed about this starting area because the others are so cool. They're not particularly unique, but they're just more impressive looking, I guess. I'm not sure. One thing cool about the elf, the mounts are pretty cool. As you see those, they're like reindeer, Santa. I don't know. They seem a little too Christmassy to me, honestly, but I don't know. I guess they're nature-based. I keep saying nature-based. And here's a cutscene, as you can see, with a cat. And the rendered cutscenes in ArcheAge are not cool. They shouldn't do that. They should definitely do pre-rendered cutscenes because they're pretty poor. I mean, the textures are jagged. I don't know what's the deal with that. And here's the mud mob that's used in every starting area of the game. Yep, these guys are everywhere. You can't go anywhere in ArcheAge without running into these mud mobs. And here I am taking my reindeer elk mount thing to grow it, I suppose. I shortened this from the Hari intro because it's exactly the same pattern for all races as far as this little mount raising minigame. It's the apple, water, bath, apple, water, dance, grow, weird, bizarre thing. I'm not exactly sure what any of this means because, I don't speak Korean. So if this is meaningful to Korean culture, please put it in a comment. I want to know what the heck this means. So, these mounts are cool, but my favorites by far are the human horses and the Hari and stone dragon things. The reindeer feel, like I said before, they feel Christmassy. I don't know, they're just kind of weird. Like, I think there should be Christmas lights in their antlers. That's what they look like to me. And what you just saw right there, you can see the tree, the ruined structure in the background. That's kind of the tree of life thing I was talking about. It's impressive, and I bet it is a dungeon later in the game. That's just kind of what I'm betting. I haven't played very far with this character. I'm going much farther with my cat dude, my combat cat guy. I'll show that in another video. But and there I was killing a bird, and here's a water boss that was under those tree ruined structure. And I don't read Korean, so I don't know what this quest was, but this was a kind of a neat conclusion. You kind of followed a few things and killed some other small water guys, and then you got to go and I guess summon him with some sort of horn. So that was cool. You don't really get no big reward or anything. You just kind of get pushed along to the next quest. This is the entrance to the racial capital, maybe? I'm not exactly sure. this looks like a major city, a major hub. There are vendors everywhere. You don't see them right here, but they're over there in the actual structure. But this looks like a main sort of area for the elves, and that's cool too. The sky has sort of pre-rendered moons and things, and every section has a different sort of night sky and a day, what the sun looks like. And at this point in my leveling, I chose Conjury as my second skill tree, and it gave me some really cool root abilities, which was great for my ranger. The first root ability was the hand from the ground, like you just saw, and the next one I chose was the bubble that lifts enemies into the air. Needless to say, I can't wait to see PvP in this game with all these wild abilities going on at the same time. And right here, you're about to see this bubble action. It's a really, really cool animation. And also, they kind of just stay up there indefinitely. I'm sure there's a timer, it's probably 20 seconds, but the longer you go, and then when you actually land an attack, the bubble pops, the more damage it does to the enemy. So this is cool. And another ability too here I unlocked was that little dash back. That looked pretty cool. And it's very useful for a ranger because, like I said, it really is bad if a melee enemy gets close because they'll take you out pretty quickly. So that's good to get out of the way. And finally, this wagon I'm on is some sort of free transport in the game. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but just a minute ago over there you saw a player's farm and home they're building up. That's another cool thing about ArcheAge. Once you get into the sandbox aspect of it, you find yourself going back to regular questing hubs, and that's where you actually plant your farms and have your homes. And as always, please subscribe and comment if you want me to show off any specific aspects of ArcheAge. See you later.